It's the one you've all been asking for. How will these eggs survive the bar crossing? It's eggs on a jet ski, bar crossing time. I don't think many eggs are going to survive. I guess there's only one way to find out. Hey Dan, how are ya?
Good.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Okay.
How many of the 12 eggs will survive a bar crossing?
On a jet ski?
On a jet ski.
Mate, they're not going to survive.
None of them.
None.
None. Zero. Well, it's not exactly scientific. There's 12 eggs here, a dozen eggs. I reckon 3 or 4 will survive a bar crossing. How many eggs do you think will last?
I'm gonna go 50-50.
6 of the dozen.
6. I reckon, yeah.
6 will last,
Maybe
okay.
about 6.
Optimistic. It's blowing about 15 knots. It looks kind of choppy out there. Well, there's only one way to find out. Wish me luck, guys.
Okay, so here are a few tips for crossing the bar. Firstly, before you get to the river mouth, make sure everything on board is secure. If your hat or something else goes overboard, it's going to be extremely difficult to retrieve. Okay, a word of warning. If you're unlucky enough to capsize your jet ski, it's good to know in advance how to upright the vessel correctly. If you rotate a capsized jet ski the wrong way, water can enter the engine and cause severe engine damage when you try to restart. If capsized, you won't have long between waves to upright your jet ski, so it's wise to have some idea on how to do it before you head out. As you approach the bar, it's a good idea to slow down and assess the conditions. Even if you have crossed many times before, conditions may have changed due to the tide, wind, swell or sandbanks. You want to pick the smoothest passage with the fewest breaking waves. When not having to hold camera equipment, I prefer to stand when crossing the bar. Standing gives you a much better view, plus you don't cop as much water in your face. With better vision, you'll be able to identify the smoothest passage across the bar and also spot any swimmers or surfers in the area. By standing, you can use your legs as shock absorbers to cushion any impacts, but it does raise your centre of gravity, so you'll need to shift your weight to stay balanced. If you ever feel unstable, sitting back down is the quickest way to lower your centre of gravity and regain control. A shallow river mouth can get pretty hairy, especially when a large incoming swell collides with a fast outgoing tide. Therefore, all other things being equal, crossing the bar just before high tide is generally safest. This is because the water level is deeper, so there are fewer breaking waves, and the tidal flow is very weak just before floor high and in the same direction as the incoming ocean swell. You don't want to get hit side on by a breaking or broken wave, as this may roll the jet ski. Therefore, approach broken or breaking waves front on. Jet skis are most stable when they are perpendicular to the waves. Rather than maintain constant throttle, vary it as needed. This will come with experience, but as an example, when going up the face of a wave, ease off on the throttle so you don't get airborne. Equally, when approaching a broken wave, increase the throttle so you have sufficient momentum to punch through the white water.
How is this possible? The eggs are lasting. Big ass wave. Oh, where are they going?
Okay, so now you've managed to get out through the bar safely. Coming back in is generally easier. The key to coming back in is to time your run so you stay between two waves. The easiest way to ensure you remain between two waves is to stay close behind a wave and follow it in. You'll need to adjust your throttle so you remain behind the wave. If the wave speeds up, you need to speed up. If the wave slows down, you need to slow down. If you don't adjust your throttle, you risk going over the top of the wave and there may be a very steep drop on the other side. Unlike boats, jet skis are highly manoeuvrable, so use this to your advantage. In some cases, you may need to zigzag to find the smoothest passage in. Just make sure you don't go over the top of a steep wave or get hit side on by a wave. Well, there you have it. If you know of any other tips or tricks, please leave a comment below. Thanks for riding with me today. Hang in there and I'll see you next time.
You're not going to believe this. They all survived. Well, I've lost one. I think it went overboard. It wasn't wearing a life jacket. But they all survived. In fact, the cardboard fared worse. I can't believe it. They all survived. Well, one went for a swim and still out there, but they all survived. Unbelievable. Eggs on a jet ski. Who would have thought?